congratulations on how the voting turned out. Obviously, that's what we want to talk about a little. We knew Vladdy certainly was going to make it, and based on the first vote, you were in good shape. What was your reaction to Teoscar jumping into the top three there, and just what does it say about the club and just the fans in Canada, obviously getting behind you guys?
Yeah, I think Teo deserves it. He's a 300 hitter, and he had some bad luck early in the year with COVID, where he was swinging a hot bat, in spring in the first week, and he had to go sit down for I think over 10 days. Came back, didn't miss a beat at all. He's been solidifying the middle of the order this whole year, so very deserving. Outfield's tough. There's a lot more guys there to pick from, but I think the voters showed up, and I'm happy for him.
And you certainly, the way the last 2 months have gone for you, haven't needed to validate your play one bit. But just what does this vote and this berth mean to you to come from where you came from in April to now here you are on July 2nd, voted into the All-Star game?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the All-Star game is. You need to have a good first half to make it. And you're right, April wasn't great, but I think I was just trying to get acclimated to the new team and figure out what I was doing at the plate. And once I got comfortable with what I was doing, I was able to take off with it. So my main goal now is to continue what I've been doing, this first half and bring it into next, second half.
Thank you, Marcus.
Go ahead, Tabby.
Hey, Marcus, congratulations. Well-deserved, man. Really well-deserved. When you come to a new team, do you set goals for yourself? And would that have been one of your goals, saying, I want to try and make the All-Star team, or was that too much?
I don't think I've actually ever, made the All-Star game one of my goals. Now that I'm here, it's a game that I've watched every year since I was a young kid, and something I always wanted to be a part of. But I don't, at the beginning of this year, I didn't put that on, on the goal sheet. But it's truly an honor. I feel like, the position switch maybe helped me a little bit too, because shortstop in the AL had always been so deep. And I feel like my closest chance may have been in 19, but there are guys who are just killing it. You talk about Bogarts, I think Polanco. Now we're seeing Bo. I hope Bo can get in at shortstop because he's having a great year himself. But second base seemed like a little easier route for me.
Perfect. That's awesome. Was there a point in the first 3 months of the season where you said, hey, I'm having a good part of the season here, I got a chance to make the All-Star team? Was there a game? Was there a week? Any point in the first 3 months of the season?
Yeah, probably after the player of the month in May. Like I told Mike, I think it only takes a couple good months to make your stats look really good in the first half and become an All-Star. I finished June strong. I feel like my power stroke is there. I've been getting a lot of extra base hits and scoring runs and getting on base. So at the end of the first half, it looks good. When you look at all the other second basemen, and I'm thankful for the voters to vote me in.
That's great. Continued success.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Laura.
Hey, Marcus, Laura Armstrong from the Toronto Star. Congratulations on the nomination. Of course, you went into yesterday, top of the second baseman in terms of voting, but I assume you don't assume that you're in until you find out. So, what was it like waiting to find out, and how did you find out?
So I was with my wife. We had already put the kids to bed. We turned on ESPN, and, I found out just the way everybody else did. Just waited to see if my name got popped up on the screen. We all expected Vladdy to be the starter. He's an MVP candidate right now. But we knew there was some close battles there with, myself and Altuve. I'm hoping that Bo gets in there. It's always cool to watch those shows and find out just like everybody else does. And the suspense was pretty cool. So we got a kick out of that.
What was that moment like when you saw your name up on the screen there?
It was cool. A little emotional. immediately I got a call from my mom and my parents. Just very happy and excited to travel to Denver. It'll be my mom's 50th birthday on July the 12th, so I get to be with her on her birthday, and just looking forward to spending time with family and friends, and then being a part of such a great game.
Well, thanks, Marcus. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Hey, Marcus, congratulations on the being an all-star. I wondered, looking at your career, kind of making yourself into a top defensive player and also kind of getting to this all-star point maybe later in your career, does it give you a different perspective on it? Does it make you appreciate it more? Like, what do you think about getting here in, I think, your ninth year in the league?
Yeah, I feel like I'm having my best years as I get older. The experience is so important in this league. I take care of my body to, I feel just as good as I did when I was, 25, just getting up 24, 25, coming up with the A's, playing shortstop, but the experience wasn't there. So there were some growing pains that I needed to get through. You just learn so much as the years go on, and you learn more about the league. I've been in the AL all this time, so, I know the league, and the body feels good. So I think the defense has gotten better over the years because I've learned what I need to do to get ready for a game, and I'm able to translate it into the game.
And you mentioned that this is a game that you've watched throughout your life, and I just wondered, you just mentioned your mom is going to be able to go, and what are you just most looking forward to about the experience?
Well, there's a lot of things. I think being announced in the opening lineups, taking that third baseline, just hearing your name, and I think, seeing myself in the team picture with all those guys, all these superstars, is going to be cool. Having my sons there on the sidelines for the home run derby, if they allow that, that'll be something that they'll always remember. They'll be pretty starstruck for that. And just spending time with family that's going to be great.
Beyond all the Blue Jays, do your sons have favorite players that they're going to be especially excited to see?
Yeah, I think Isaiah, my 4-year-old, he's talking about Ohtani a lot, just like everybody else is, but he says he wants to be a pitcher and hitter like Ohtani. So I think he's having a good effect on the kids nowadays.
That's great. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Marcus, I had a question too, just on the fact that you said, you watched the game sort of since you were a kid growing up. Did you have any favorite memories of, a favorite all-star game or a player that you really enjoyed watching in the game?
Yeah, I mean, Barry Bonds was always my favorite player. He was, perennial all-star. Just seeing him versus the best pitcher in the AL every year, and because you don't get to see it, the interleague play is. You may get to see it once in the season, but you never get to see those matchups of, say a Pedro Martinez versus Barry Bonds or something like that. So those will always be in my memory, just those matchups you never get to see. Whoever we face in the All-Star game, I'm sure it'll be a guy I haven't faced much, but you watch him on TV all the time and you say, all right, here we go. Here's DeGrom, or here's Corbin Burns, or somebody like that you never face.
Right. And then just looking at your offensive production the past 3 seasons, I'm kind of curious how you've maybe been asked this before, but how you view 2020, if you view it as just sort of, small sample size, weird year with the pandemic and whatnot, or if there's anything in particular that was different that year for you versus 2019, and then certainly versus how you're doing now.
I think I'm healthy. I dealt with a side injury for most of the last season. So as a hitter, that's no fun. Played through it, got it better, and finished strong in the playoffs. So the year wasn't necessarily a failure in my mind. I feel like I finished strong and had a bad first month, just like I did this year. But we get to play more games this year to get out of it. So overall, I feel, just happy to be healthy and playing good baseball.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Buck.
Marcus, thanks for your time and congratulations. Well deserved for sure. Marcus, in this day and age, everybody is talking about off days and not getting tired and everything else, but you relish the opportunity to play every day. earlier in the season, you feel like you have a chance to get better and learn something every single day. Tell us about that and where that came from and how that serves you so well during the course of 162 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned with Oakland that there's days that your body doesn't feel great, but maybe your swing does. For me, I learned things as the year goes on that I can roll with. And in order to roll with something, you need to be in there every day. And I told Charlie that in spring. I said I like to play through things, and even if there's a little slump, I feel like I can get out of it quick because there's just adjustments I know how to make in the cage if something's off. And I learned it from the White Sox in the minor leagues. Buddy Bell told us, if you can play, you're playing. If you're not hurt, you're playing. And he stuck to his word. I watched Alexi Ramirez play every day, and I finally got my shot in Oakland and never wanted to give my position up, basically. So I said I was good every day, and that's the way I look at it now.
Terrific. You're in your 9th season in the majors. I have watched you this summer, and you've evolved. It seems like you're becoming a better hitter almost with every game. What has it been with the coaches or watching another player, or you've got some terrific young players around you? You've got Springer, who's a veteran like you. Is there something that has allowed you to become a better hitter right now than you were maybe even in 19 or 20?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I think I've stuck with the routine probably since the end of April that I'm still doing now. And you go through past years of my career, I'm changing things up like crazy in the cage just to get a certain feeling. But this year, since then, we've stuck with the same thing. The other thing is, having the ability to see your at-bats right after you take them. We have iPads in the dugout. I feel like that's an underrated part of today's game. We get the information right away. Last year, we didn't have that because of the cheating scandal and video room. We couldn't see anything. And as a big league hitter, I know JD Martinez has talked about it a lot with Boston. You're able to make adjustments on the fly right there in the game. So that's been important. A lot of the information we get here with Toronto, I've been able to process it and use it to my advantage this year.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Thanks. Just 2 more for me. Back to the All-Star just for a second. Obviously, it's an individual accomplishment, but obviously the Blue Jays will have at least 2 others. You mentioned Bo potentially, and who knows if you'll have any pitchers there. So what does it mean to be so well represented as a team there as well? And is it kind of special to know that you'll at least be spending it with 2 other teammates?
It is special. We've been playing some good ball here. I know our record doesn't necessarily jump off the page, but you look at some of the years that some of these guys are having, we deserve to be in that game. I think I'm interested to see if Bo gets in there. He's having a great year, and I think Romano deserves it as well. Robbie Ray also got my vote. So we'll see what happens. It's a deep league. There's some teams that, have to have an all-star. So I don't know if that's going to hurt us because we have so many guys in there already, but we'll see what happens.
And just quickly ahead of the series against the Rays, obviously all series are important. You want to win every game out there. But what is the feeling going into this series? You guys are chasing the Rays in the standings. And how is the team kind of feeling about what could end up, being a fairly big series this month for you guys?
We need to play good baseball this weekend, period. I think that's a team that, over the last week or so, maybe hasn't been playing as well as when we saw them in Dunedin. But they had our number in Dunedin, so we want to come back strong, and game 1 is very important.
Awesome. Thank you again, Marcus.
Go ahead, Tabby.
Real quick, Marcus, you were talking to Buck about the iPad. What kind of things are you looking for when your at-bat's over? Do you look at yourself, or do you look at the pitch? Do you look at the pitcher? Do you look how they set you up? What kind of things are you looking for?
Well, I look at the pitcher first before the game, just to refresh. And then when they bring a new guy in, you're able to watch him right there, which is great. But for me, I like to know what the strike zone's looking like. So there's some times where you get in there and you're like, man, that pitch really looked off, or that looked up or down. And a lot of times it's just the way you're seeing the ball that day. So you're able to quickly see that, okay, that pitch was on the line. and adjust from there. But last year we spent the entire game just wondering, man, was that a strike or not? Like, I don't know what's going on. And it's something that at this level you need, I think. Maybe when we were younger, of course, nobody had that when we were younger, but the level of competition was not nearly as good.
That's great. You don't look at your swing at all. You just look at the pitches mostly.
For me, not too much my swing. I'm more of a feel guy.
Right.
Maybe I'll look at what my timing is like, but there are other guys that will look at their swing and maybe turn it to that side angle to see if their weight's staying back or something like that. But for me, usually it's a feel thing.
Great. Thanks again, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Marcus.
All right.